Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Unearthed silver from one of the greatest crimes in history. Let's explore! This is a fascinating article here from livescience.com, and it is about an intriguing story about silver that has been discovered tied to potentially one of the greatest crimes in history. Let's take a look at this and learn a little bit about this discovery here. Henry Avery was one of the most famous pirates to ever live, and there was a handful of Arabian silver coins found in New England, and they may be the last surviving relics of history's most notorious act of piracy. Perhaps one of the most famous pirates who ever lived. And if you're interested and like stories like this, make sure you click the notification bell so that you can be apprised of the latest video that makes its way, and thumb up this video while you're here. So there's evidence that suggests the distinctive coins were spent as common silver in the American colonies in the late 1690s by the fugitive pirate crew of Henry Avery, also known as John Avery, who had fled there after plundering the Mughal treasure ship Ganj-e-Sawai as it was returning pilgrims from the Muslim Hajj. So amazing that you see Arabic coins being spent as money in the American colonies in the 1690s. Wow. So researchers aren't certain that the coins are from the Ganj-e-Sawai, but their origin, their dates, and their discovery in such a distant region suggests they were seized by the pirates and spent in the Americas. And coins may have been handled by Avery himself, who discovered a few years later, but who came to be portrayed as an almost heroic figure from what some have called the golden age of piracy. Their discovery has also cast new light on Avery's whereabouts shortly before he vanished with the loot. We can prove beyond a doubt that he actually was in the mainland American colonies, Rhode Island metal detectionist Jim Bailey told Live Science. Bailey found one of the Arabian silver coins, Kano Kamasi, in 2014 at the site of a colonial settlement on Aqueduct Island, almost about 20 miles south of Providence. More than a dozen similar coins, thought to be from the pirate raid on the Ganj-e-Sawai, have now been discovered by metal detectorists and archaeologists elsewhere in Rhode Island and in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and North Carolina. Maybe the last evidence in one of the greatest crimes in history. Let's talk about this pirate attack in 1695. Avery and his cutthroat crew on board their ship Fancy joined a pirate raid on a convoy in the Red Sea that was returning to India from Mecca. Every ship chased and caught the convoy's flagship, the Ganj-e-Sawai, which belonged to the Grand Mughal Aurangzeb, the Muslim emperor of what is now India and Pakistan. Reports say that the pirates tortured and killed its crew and 600 passengers before making off with gold and silver, including thousands of coins, said to be worth between 200,000 and 600,000 British pounds, which is the equivalent of about $40 million and $130 million in today's money. After an outcry led by British East India Company, whose profits on the riches of India were threatened by the raid, Britain's King William III ordered what is regarded as the first international manhunt to capture Avery and the other pirates. By this time, however, Avery and his crew had escaped to the New World. They lived for several months in the Bahamas, possibly with the collusion of the British governor of the Highlands, and they fled in late 1696 as the Royal Navy closed in. Some of Avery's crew went to live in the mainland colonies. They were eventually tried and acquitted, possibly as a result of bribery. But there were no further sightings of Avery. Later reports suggested he had sailed to Ireland while still on the run and that he died there, impoverished a few years later. Since his loot from the Ganja Sawai was never accounted for, rumors long persisted that the treasure had been buried somewhere in secret. So, you think about it, and this find, maybe that's part of it, and especially with some of the crew settling in the mainland colonies, one of you as viewers very well could be a direct descendant of a pirate. So here is a look at one of the coins. Jim Bailey found the coin there, part of the treasure seized by Henry Avery and his pirate crew in the Red Sea in 1695. So what journey this particular coin may have taken all around the world. Wow. Bailey is an amateur archaeologist who worked on the recovery of the wreck of the Whydah, a pirate ship discovered off Cape Cod in 1984. In 2014, his metal detector picked up the first of the mysterious coins in a meadow on Aquidneck Island that was once the site of a colonial township. You never field clean a coin because you could damage it, that's for sure. I had to run to my car and get a big bottle of water. The mud came off, and I saw this Arabic script on the coin, and I was amazed because I knew exactly where it had come from, he said. I was aware that the American colonies had been bases of operation for piracy in the late 17th century. Studies of the Arabic writing on the coin showed it had been minted in Yemen and southern Arabia in 1693, just a few years before the pirate attack on the Ganji Sawai. Another 13 had been found, mostly by metal detectorists, but the latest in 2018 by archaeologists in Connecticut. 2 Ottoman Turkish silver coins, thought to be from the same hoard, have also been unearthed in the region. Bailey has carefully studied each of the discoveries while researching historical sources about the pirates who had brought the coins to the Americas, and in 2017, some of his work was published in the Colonial Newsletter, a research journal published by the American Numismatic Society. Several of the coins show the year they were minted, while some are marked with the names of the rulers of the time, which can be used to date them. None of the coins date after 1695, when the Ganja Sawai was captured, Bailey said. Avery is thought to have sailed directly to Ireland after his time in the Bahamas, but Bailey's research suggests that Avery spent several weeks on the American mainland trading in African slaves he had bought with the loot from the Ganja Sawai. Historical records relate to a ship Avery had acquired in the Bahamas, Seaflower, sold dozens of slaves on the mainland. And Bailey's research suggests that Avery was on board, he said. Bailey thinks Avery probably died in Ireland eventually, as described by some chroniclers, but others portrayed him as a swashbuckling king who ruled for years over a fictitious pirate utopia in Madagascar. There's no way to know if Avery handled the New England coins himself, but Bailey thinks they were almost certainly part of the hoard looted from the Mughal ship, and are not convinced by the theory. Some are not convinced. While most of the loot was probably melted down to hide the origins, what we're finding basically are the coins that were being used by the pirates when they were on the run. Coins for lodgings, coins for meals, coins for drinking, he said. Astonishingly, the coins may have been referred to in the Manhunt Proclamation by King William, which stated that Avery and the other fugitives had looted many Indian and Persian gold and silver coins from the captured ship. How often do you find a coin that's mentioned in the proclamation for the capture of a pirate and the subject of the first worldwide manhunt? It's just fantastic, says Bailey. Amazing indeed. And that's something about silver being utilized, the most commonly valuable utilized metal in transactions for so many centuries. And this is an example of coins that literally could have been used as transactions with script from across the ocean in a part of the world that is so foreign to even most Europeans, to be utilized in colonies in the New World, these silver coins. So it's really, in a way, it's kind of noteworthy because we saw that the pillar dollar, the 8 reals, and the pieces of 8 as well were utilized in transactions and were official money in the United States for many, many years. And so it's not even so much about what is written on the pieces, but what they are made of. And that, my friends, is silver. So a valuable lesson to us all that we're holding money, and when we accumulate these silver coins and metals and bars that really transcend beyond what is stamped on the pieces themselves. Silver is what it is, although it's apparent and obvious in this day and age that certainly what is stamped is certainly important as far as liquidation, but notwithstanding, when it becomes tested and is verified to be silver all the way through, and you got something of value there. So I hope you found this video interesting, and let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.